Quick, last minute water. Give Cloud a pet. You don't have time for the first 20 floors.
He's jumping around at the moment. Alright, looks like we're live.
Alright.
I'm pulling up my game now.
Well,
Okay.
and hello everybody. It's a great day to be diving into the ancient cave and spelunking for a while. You guys saw me a couple of days ago, and that was me all by myself, but this time I've got a really good friend, ThatsFairZack, running along with me.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
And Zach and I hope to give you a good show, this time straight up in any percent, with a race in 2 hours. You'll see the category says no manipulation. Pretty much no one does manipulation, so you're not really missing a whole lot there. I guess when we're both ready, we'll go ahead and hit go.
Yep, you ready?
I'm set.
You want to do the countdown?
Sure.
Alright, whenever you're ready.
Alright, we'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oop, I hit a little early. Alright, let me grab my little party real quick. So I'm going to go with the standard party. I'm going to go with my typical any percent run, along with my Capsule Monster, Old Sully. I think Ellie's going to go with a little something different, though.
Yep, I'm running with Zeppy. In the reject runs that you saw me do the other day, you saw me bring Darby for a little bit of it. He's good at dealing magical damage, and a lot of it, and he has some instant kill properties, which can help make battles a little bit safer later on. Sully does not really feel like doing quite as much in terms of attacking, but when he does, he can be a pretty good beefcake at it. And Zeppy is kind of like an in-between, with a unique property in that one of his forms can boost the attack power of the entire party by a pretty sizable margin.
Yeah, I'm kind of just going with Sully because I'm used to him, and he's fast in terms of like speed. He has very little casting animations, and most of the time he just defends, which is probably the quickest action you can take. Well, that the Capsule Monsters can take. If you've never really run this before, if you wanted to ever start out playing, I would highly suggest you take Darby. He has a lot of casting animations, so you're definitely going to be slower. However, he has a lot of instant death and AoE attacks. I would highly recommend him.
Now, if you're new to the Ancient Cave and you haven't seen either this run before, or you've played this game but you just haven't seen the cave itself, you can access this through the main campaign of the game. It's a 100-floor procedurally generated, quote-unquote, randomizer or roguelike dungeon. The goal of this is to take our party in, make it to the final floor, and defeat the final boss in a turn limit of 3 turns, just because that's really all the game really gives you the time to do. You come into this pretty much bare naked with 10 potions and your party plus your pet. And if you have... Hold on a sec.
What's going on? Whoa!
There, it sounded like my audio was glitching out.
It's a little staticky, but it's not that bad. So essentially, in the any percent run, we're trying to get to the jelly as quick as possible, the end boss. There's a lot of different ways to kill him with the standard party. There's a few more methods of doing it. There's also, however, other parties and stuff that you can formulate. Like, we have the reject percent, which would take the other 3 characters as opposed to the 3 we have now. The 3 we have now are the most optimized for the any percent glitchless. Oh god, party room. This can happen sometimes, where they basically the floor goes crazy and it just sucks up all the chests and monsters from the other rooms. We call them party rooms, monster rooms, treasure rooms, all sorts of stuff.
Speaking of stuck up rooms, I just got a glitch floor. I may already have to game over.
Hey, that happened to me one time in a race and I came back and won. That's a good sign. It's not that bad. Alright, I'm gonna get around here. So there's a few things that we definitely want to survive for the duration of the run. That's one of them right there. This is the Deadly Sword. There's actually 2 versions of the Deadly Sword. There's the good one and the bad one. The good one is the one that Maxim can wear. The bad one, Guy and Decker can equip it. So what's the difference between those two weapons? Why is one good and why is one bad? Well, the good deadly sword doesn't exist in the main game. It only exists in the Ancient Cave. It can only be picked up from a chest, and I know it's the good deadly right now because the bad deadly doesn't spawn until floor 19. Or floor 20, floor 20. So what does the good deadly sword do? Well, just like some of the other weapons in the Ancient Cave, there are deadly weapons that get cursed on your character when you equip them. Did you get the glitch? You got the stair glitch?
No, the stairs are here, fortunately.
Okay, good.
So I am able to proceed.
Okay, I was just reading chat. I just wanted to make sure. So the deadly weapons are really important. Well, they are really safety. Like, if you don't ever have to need them, you don't ever equip them, but most of the time you'll need at least one. The deadly weapons, when you equip them, like I said, they get cursed on your character, and the only way to remove them is with the curse lifter. These weapons are important because they'll instantly kill any enemy that's not considered shadow or undead, however the game considers it. It'll instantly kill them at an 80% rate. It doesn't matter how strong it is, how big it is. As long as it doesn't have immunity to instant death, it will die. However, it does get cursed on your character, and a lot of these weapons don't have a whole lot of attack power to them. But you can uncurse them with the curse lifter. Not all weapons, but like the deadly sword that I picked up, and the deadly rod for Artie, those have really good IP attacks, which is the yellow bar that you see in battle. That bar only builds up if you when you get attacked by enemies, so you can't attack yourself to build it up. And with that bar, these weapons, when you uncurse them, they gain IP attacks that do fractional HP damage. So the deadly sword that I have, for like 51% of the IP bar that I have, it'll do 1/6 of any enemy's HP. So that includes the jelly. So it hits roughly around like, what, 1.82k, something like that. I think somewhere around there. So there's a lot of stuff to take in, but that's just one weapon. The main weapon we're looking for is the Decker Blade. It doesn't start spawning in chests until floor 15, and that one, while not a high attacking power weapon, it does the most fractional damage, which is 1/2. Let me get these guys down here so I can scoot.
Now we can take advantage of dealing even more damage with our fractional weapons like that by sticking people in the front and back row. If you're in the front row, you deal 1/8 extra damage, and if you are in the back row, you deal 1/8 less. And if you attack an enemy that is in the back row, then it's the same case, it takes less damage. Or if it's in the front row, it takes more. The final boss doesn't have a real position, so fortunately we can take advantage of that. Put our Decker Blade boy right in the front row and have him do all the work for us, and that'll carry a ton of damage to make things a lot easier for the kill, dealing up to 5,000 or 6,000, preferably closer to that 6 if we can help it.
So I have a deadly sword, and that's the item, by the way, the curse lifter. That's the item that removes the item. Because the reason why I manually equipped Maxim there rather than hit strongest was because the deadly sword probably has more attack power than anything I've already picked up. So if I hit strongest, it would auto-equip Maxim, and it would get stuck on my character. And the only way to remove it is with the curse lifter, and that's the only way it can gain the IP attack as well. So I kind of have a safety net there. So having a curse lifter, the deadly weapon, is already something for the jelly. As one of the things that I can utilize at the end. However, I'm not a big fan of the deadly sword anymore. I prefer the deadly rod for Artie, big time.
Like the one I just picked up.
Oh, and the one I just picked up.
Hot dog.
Alright. So I've got both
Now
my
you're-
deadlies and a curse lifter. It's not bad.
You're set for a while.
Yeah.
Thing about Artie can use it, he's fast and he can outspeed a lot of enemies, so he can often kill things before they get a chance to go, and that matters a lot in the later floors, like from floors 60 and beyond. The other side of that token is that there's another weapon that behaves exactly the same as the deadly rod does, except it doesn't have the IP ability to be useful against the jelly, and that's called the fatal pick. We're both lucky that we found the deadly rod, and as early as we did, so that way we don't have to worry about dealing with the unfortunate side effects of uncursing a weapon that doesn't really have any purpose. The deadly sword is a little bit more confusing, but again, since you don't want to use that one quite as much, you're not often in a pickle. We have to pick and choose. And Maxim has plenty of other things that he can do that are pretty valuable other than just using a deadly sword for killing.
All right, so what I just picked up there, so in the game, while we're going through the cave, one of the most important things that you need while you're playing the Ancient Cave is you need heals. What I picked up there is one of the heals called Rally. It's actually the most inefficient one. It uses too much MP, and it's technically really just there to res, but you can heal. It's actually one of the revival spells. It's not really one of the healing spells per se, but you can use it that way. And speaking of like characters dying, I'm only level 1, and you're probably wondering why I'm not killing anything. Because I'm waiting on these guys right here. These are the, I'm sure Elieson probably explained it before, but these are the cores. And the reason why we want to get here is because if we kill them, they give us tons of EXP, granted that they stay. Oh, that's really bad. Alright, World 2 stayed, but they killed Decker. So the cores, they have like, what, is a 75% chance to run away? However, if they stay, they give you a large amount of EXP that helps you level. Basically, in a speedrun route, you just want to jump from core to core to core to get all the levels you need for the entire run.
Now, cores have a unique property. They have a lot of defense, so they're often pretty hard to kill. What you can do to get around that is either get a critical hit, which is more of a luck-based thing, or you can cast a magic spell. Due to how they're coded to have their magic defense exist or not really exist, you casting any magic spell at all that deals damage will just outright annihilate them. And they come in 4 different flavors, but the core, the trend of all the cores is that magic will decimate them no matter which one you're looking at.
You just picked up Strong? That's really good.
I picked up Strong and Stronger. I don't have any Resurrection yet, so you've got a Rally, which is a pretty big deal. I did get 1 core, and I don't have a dead Decker, but Decker can catch up really quickly, so I'm not too worried about you losing any major progress there.
Yeah, I'm not worried about my Decker being pretty much dead. He's only level 1.
The reason we're looking for cores at this time, we know exactly where enemies will appear. We don't know whether or not they will appear, but we know where they can, and that's kind of how we're capitalizing on determining what we do and where we spend a little extra time looking for things to kill or not. The floor range of 11, 12, and 13 is where you'll find the red cores, and in any speedrun, that's the straight dive that matters a lot for where we end up going. After this, we have to go about 20 floors before we see our next batch of cores.
Yeah, it's the longest stretch where you won't see any cores is 30, 30, from here till the next set, which is at 32, is the longest stretch. Because after that, you see them at 41, and then you see them again at 58, which isn't such a big stretch. The green, you can actually get by with just green cores if you get enough of them. Should I kill this? Also, I did want to add, like, so it's not just about looking for items and getting the right stuff. It's also about, oh man, Guy is poisoned. Of course, for me, of course. So half the cave is figuring out what to do, like where to go and where to walk, how to dodge the enemies. Movement is very, very, very important. And I know it looks like we're just kind of like outpacing the enemies or running around them and stuff. The early enemies are like that, but around floor 31, things get kind of crazy. And you have to really know what I just got 2 more cores. You have to know what the enemies are doing and how to dodge them. It's not always the case. If there's a whole lot of them, there may not be like an exit, or there might just be enemies like ninjas that have full roam aggro and they'll run at you. But there are methods and ways to get around enemies. And it doesn't just include the way that they move, it also includes the way that their positioning and how they stand. Like, certain enemies will move in, like, horizontal and vertical directions. They alternate between the two. So if you know that, you can actually escape patterns. I actually just started learning that not that long ago, so I'm still getting used to it, but there's many ways to dodge enemies. So, like, every floor can basically be considered a puzzle when you're in a hurry.
The other challenge is, on top of knowing how enemies interact and where they move, how they interact with each other. There's some enemies that will lock on and follow other enemies. There's some enemies that will aggro you whether you're in the room or not, whereas others will just aggro you while you're in the room, and then as soon as you leave the room, they just kind of freeze. As Zach said, it really is a puzzle in determining how you can survive and get through each room, and in these early floors, it's not too much to worry about. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where there's going to be fights that we may have to take, and we want to try to optimize those fights as much as we can by attacking any enemies that we have to fight by getting them from the back. We don't always have enemies that have a back to hit, but if they do have a back, then it's something we definitely want to capitalize on when we can. Enemies like the jelly, the bat, cores, they don't really have a front or a back side, but you've seen some other enemies around like skeletons on Zach's screen or some of the goblins on mine. And those guys, if you can get them on the back attack, then it's a guaranteed free turn of combat against them. If you hit them from the side, like you run into their left or their right side, it's a 50% chance for a back attack. And the same goes for enemies. You can get unlucky and have them win a 50-50 against you, or have an enemy target you from the back, and then suddenly you're at a whole turn disadvantage, which can be difficult to recover from.
Yeah, which is why getting already a deadly weapon or some form of way to maximize the weaknesses on enemies, like to be able to overcome that, because agility is a super important stat, which is why Artie is very important to the run. We want him to be as fast as possible so he can take his turns as fast as possible. So that if he has a deadly on, he gets a first strike and he can kill something that otherwise might kill us first. There's a few exceptions to enemies that typically you'll never go before. I would say leeches are one of them. They have the Serafacos that are also really bad. There's a few enemies that you just do not go before. Cores, you can actually become faster than cores, but typically doesn't happen unless you're in a 100% run, which we're not doing, so...
Now, speaking of outspeeding enemies, I picked up 2 blue chests, and they both happen to deal with agility. The first one I picked up is a Spido Jewel, and you can use that to slow enemies down by 40% of what their speed is to allow you to outspeed some big threats. I recently did that against Archfiends and was able to survive an encounter with them because of that. And the other thing I found is a Silver Eye, which bumps up the agility of the person who's holding it. We give that to Artie traditionally, so that way he can use his deadly to kill things more often.
That's really lucky.
The other thing about... is heckin' lucky. The other big thing that's important about blue chests is that if you're doing this run casually, or say you're not doing it casually, but you're doing it in just a sense that you want to complete the run, you can take blue chest items out of the cave with you and re-enter them with them. As long as you use a Providence item, which you can find starting on floor 20, you can exit the cave, take anything in the blue chest out with you, and re-enter with it. If you die in the middle of a run that has the blue chest found, then you can't take it back in with you. If you find something in the blue chest, Providence out, re-enter, and then die again, you don't lose that item permanently. So it makes a great feeling when you're able to just go through the main casual room, bring a couple of things in with you, and it just makes the run a little bit easier to kind of figure out how everything works. You know, it gives you a bit of a cushion for equipment and everything to help pad out your early game, and especially the late game, depending on what goodies you find.
I don't know why I went in this room. I saw the blue chest and I just thought I'd capitalize on the room. It was a really bad decision. However, there's nothing really in here that can kill me, so I went in here. I got a Spark Staff, which is pretty decent. It's not bad. God, I keep getting back attacks, though. Alright, so this was kind of a time waste in here. I went in here to try and capitalize, but it really didn't work out. And there's too many enemies to dodge. Oh my god.
Every floor can hold the maximum of up to 8 chests before the next series of floors chests end up spawning on the fly. Party rooms can sometimes contain all 8, which is what Zach's dealing with right now. Other times they can be strewn about, and you can have a party room with as little as 2 or 3 chests, which can be rather irritating when you have to fight your way through a ton of monsters because the collective of them spawn in a floor to the point where sometimes there can be more than what your screen can show in terms of sprites, and then you can only have 1 or 2 chests worth of goodies to open. On the plus side, it is nice to have all the chests in collective places, and there are some enemies that you want to appear in a particular party room. For instance, those cores. If you had a room full of those, you'd be happy to run in there and deal with a bunch of the combat. But just like it can happen on good floors, it can happen on bad floors with dragons and other things that can shred you if you get unlucky or don't manage to outspeed them or kill them with your deadly with any reliability.
I just picked up poison. I can cure Guy.
Speaking of poison, there are other status effects in this game. There's paralysis and sleep, which they don't carry after a battle, but poison will. It's the only status effect it does. It can be annoying just because having it, sucks up time. It deals little teeny bits of damage at a time, but it's better than having to carry paralysis out and have to deal with curing that constantly, because those are pretty rough. Now, there's also sleep, and we can inflict status ailments on enemies with items or with spells. Sometimes we may have to do that in order to ensure that we can get through a difficult room or a series of difficult foes.
Okay, so what y'all just saw there, if anyone's paying attention, I just picked up the same spell twice. I'm not exactly sure why that occurs, but it's the same spell twice on the floor. It only ever happens that way. Do you know why that happens? I just know that it happens occasionally.
Yeah, it's because all the items for a chest set are loaded at the same time. So every item that can appear within the pool of whatever would appear for that particular floor loads at once, which is why sometimes you can be on the floor and find the same thing twice or even 3 times. It's extremely unlikely, but so far today's been giving us a handful of unlikely things. I had a tiny room, I had a void floor, and you got a spell dupe on the same floor, so maybe we'll have some other interesting glitches and weird things to show off as this day continues.
Yeah, the game is a buggy mess. It's got a lot of issues. Even the main game has one particular room in general that you can't even see what's going on, and it's probably the most pivotal cutscene in the game. So oh guys, that's another party room. It is another party room. I don't like it. Alright, so I'm standing still and attacking. When you swing your sword, the enemies still move. So I was trying to see if I can get in that room, but it doesn't look like I can because there's just too many enemies. So while there's a lot of chests in there could be blue chests, there could be anything good in there, I'm going to opt out not to go in that room. It would be a waste of time for me to even try. And this is, I'm sorry, what?
I would say there's more to enemy movement control than just swiping your sword and giving enemies a turn to act. There are some enemies that only move based on the direction that you move, and that's why, say, if you walk left, they'll walk right, or if you walk up, they'll walk down. The sword swipe technique that Zach was doing, if you hold the R button to stand still, but hold a direction while you're swiping your sword, then you fake a movement, and you can make enemies move in a direction that you need them to without actually moving, which can be very helpful as well.
Yeah, it's pretty useful. It's there's a few applications where it comes in handy. It's more handy than it is not, but it's not like if you don't know how to do it or if you can't get it down, it's not the most important thing to learn. But it is there. I think I hit another party room. I think this might be my 4th one, if this floor has a party room on it. Let's see. The late game stuff is really where the cave gets brutal. The enemies just get really, really, really rough. I think there's a door up here. I'm gonna go check that out. Yeah, another party room. I've had like 4 of them so far.
If they were a Garbo's room or something, that wouldn't be too awful.
It's bad. It's bad because it's kind of like almost a waste of a floor because it's like, man, I could have gotten in there and gotten something good. I'm sitting here with just Rally on my hands. I'm gonna go down first. I'm gonna go grab some chests. What floor are you on, by the way?
Hopefully I'm gonna be on floor 28 or so in just a minute. I've got 2 beasts and a OT warrior standing on top of stairs.
Oh, I see.
Are awful, and they move multiple times per movement that you do. They can be really tough to plow through because of how difficult and unpredictable their movement is. You're seeing just how scary they can be, and having a party room full of bees where you have no idea what they're going to do or where they go is, sometimes one of the roughest things to have to come out of. What party rooms have you been dealing with?
All of them.
Alright, 27 I'm on.
So that was a little crazy in that room with monster movement. I know it looks kind of tedious sometimes, and it makes it like, oh, it's just running around. But I've been speedrunning this for so long. I kind of just know enemy movements just in my head. Like, I just know how they work. So I typically try on the fly to get rid of them or dodge them however I know is possible. So, I mean, like I said, the early floors are really kind of boring. I don't really have to think too much, but later on, we really do. You'll see me hesitate a couple times, at least later. If we run into trouble, sometimes you get a pretty smooth coasting run where you get everything you need, and then other times you gotta struggle for your runs. And in all honesty, I like the ones where I have to struggle because it makes me think. It's a lot more entertaining in my opinion.
It also gives people a much more satisfying thing to watch. You know, they can be clenching their butts, just like we are.
Yeah.
Things.
I like to get out of like a really shifty situation. I like to think my way out like, hey, you know what? I solved that. And then, you know, when RNG kicks in, I'm like, what's wrong with me as a person? I just freak out. Regardless, I'm constantly screaming inside, just trying to get through this.
Speaking of a freak out, I have a blue chest in front of a door. Normally you see a blue chest and say, oh yeah, nice, a free item, free really good item. Those are not real. They are lying to you. They are blue mimics. We saw red mimics in the early floors, 8, 9, 10, or 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And they will chase after you, and they will attack you, or try to chase after you regardless of what room you're in. Blue mimics, they're worse in a way, because they are way scarier. They also stand still, which means that if you're trying to deal with them, you have to run around them or run through them. And in my case, I've got one legitimately just on top of a door, so I have to run through it, it looks like. So I'm going to take a quick little gander and see what I'm up against.
No! I think the run's over, dude.
Let's see. I have Providence, so I can always get it out with my Spido Jewel and my Snow Sword.
No! So, like, I know this enemy's gonna go down on one of my swings, so I might be able to get out of it without having to fight it. I just don't want to swing too fast, because it could go left really quickly. I see, just like that. So I kind of knew that that was going to happen, just how monsters move. I was able to... If it wouldn't have moved left really quickly, I could have gone up and right without having to fight it at all, so... that's one of those things I just know. You kind of have to pick up on it, but I knew that it was going to move in that direction. I found the Iris Sword, by the way, in case you didn't, in case you couldn't tell. Oh my god. Oh. So I did get stronger, and now I have Valor. Valor is the most efficient heal. Well, in terms of cost, it's the most expensive heal, but it's the most guaranteed to heal everyone up all the way. And if you revive someone, it heals them all the way. I'd also like to point out, a lot of people actually don't know this, but your healing spells, you can actually split them, and they will res multiple characters at a % chance, just like anything else. Single target, it's guaranteed, but as you split it, the numbers become a little bit more, they become less of a chance for it to happen. Valor, if it revives, it'll revive everyone at 500 if you split it. Rally, I think, is only 25 if it splits, right?
Speaking of % chances, enemies can come in groups of up to 4, depending on how large they are. Those blue mimics could have come in a group of 4. I got lucky and only 2 appeared. I was able to get through it without too much stress. I got doubled frenzied, and you just saw how quickly they decimated my party. Luckily, I didn't get triple frenzied, otherwise that would have just been a wipe right there.
Did you have to fight them?
Oh yeah, I had to, and I did. Fortunately, okay. I had a couple of abilities on the big boys that killed one, ran away and came back to kill the other one after reviving.
That's terrible. Always those fights where you have to kill blue mimics to progress are dangerous. It happens. Now remember, if you do a 100% run, which you kill everything, open everything, you have to kill them all. And it's, I would say honestly, probably one of the most difficult parts of the run. It just makes you like, you have to use everything you've gotten only within 30 floors. to kill them, and sometimes it's impossible. Generally in a 100% run with the normal party, I can do it, but if it's a reject party, it's usually the wall. I would say a reject 100% run, 90% of all runs die to blue mimics. I would say somewhere around there. It's disgusting.
So I'm a little bit shy on MP recovery items, but I did manage to find Absorb super early on. So I just got a blue core. I'm using Absorb to steal MP from blue cores. There are pads you can run on that are hidden under bushes that are shaped a little bit different from the norm. Those bushes will unveil a healing tile that will recover your HP, but not your MP. The only ways to recover MP are either through either using items like a High Magic, X Magic, Miracle, or a handful of other ones that aren't super good, or by using an IP ability of a particular piece of equipment. Like my personal favorite, the Magic Bikini, or a handful of other things. Because they're just hard to find, you don't know exactly how you're going to deal with your MP, so you always want to play a little conservatively in that regard, just to make sure that if you have healing or you have attack spells, you actually have the ability to use them as you progress, and you don't just run out of spells and MP to cast it with really, really early on.
Alright, so right now I'm trying to get to the stairs. I gotta dodge this plant, which they hit, you know, enough to where it's bothering me, but we can get through, no problem. There we go. Okay. See how I hesitated right there? I was trying to count the, I was trying to remember what position it was in horizontally and vertically so that I could not get into another fight with it, which could have easily happened had I not been paying attention. Oh no, not the Tengus. Alright. The only thing I have right now for the jelly is honestly probably the deadly the deadly rod for Artie, unless I find something else and I don't want to use the rod anymore. But the deadly rod with the curse up there, that's pretty much all I have for the jelly. As far as like the bigger hitting weapons, I don't have a Decker Blade. The other two big weapons, the Old Sword and the Myth Blade, don't start spawning until 50 and 60. So we have to wait for that one. Those have high attack power, so they're pretty strong weapons in general, but they also have the IP attacks. Like, the Old Sword has the 1/6 HP, but the Myth Blade, if you can get that one has 1/4. Probably the next highest after the Decker Blade. So there's a few more things that we're going to get, but we're just not there yet. That we could get. We could get nothing. I could just get nothing but a string of insect crushes for the rest of this whole thing, but the chances of that happening are pretty slim, but you never know.
Well, we don't have to open chests to find everything that we need. There are some enemies that do drop a couple of accessories, or there is one enemy that drops a weapon that can be a big help in killing the jelly. The accessories are the ones that we're looking more for. The first enemy that drops an accessory that we're going to be looking out for actually appears quite soon. It is a blue crab called the Gardos. I fought a pink one earlier. I don't know if Zach did. They have a chance to drop the same rock or the same accessory stone as they do, only at a lower rate. The Gardos also give a pretty decent chunk of EXP, so if you're speedrunning this game, you don't have a lot of EXP to fall back on. These blue crabs are weak to fire, and you can find fire weaponry and fire spells pretty easily and deal with them in a pretty efficient way. They only stick around for 3 floors, though, and it, like everything else in this cave, just may not appear within that range, so it's not necessarily a fact of certainty that they're going to appear, and if they do drop it, it's only a 20% chance that it will drop. So we're going to take our chances probably to try and get one of them, but I don't know if we're going to.
I didn't try and farm it at all.
Are you going to go for the Doras?
Maybe if I mean, I have the instant death, so I'm probably just gonna do it. Unfortunately, I was trying to kill some assassins, but they killed Artie before I could do the Phoenix Blow with my Spark Staff. Hopefully they don't do that again. And by the way, I said assassin because that's how they're spelled. The game's translation
this game
isn't the
with
best.
unusual translations. Assassins are called assassins. There's hydras in this cave. They come in a handful of flavors. They're referred to as hyporas.
I got the Misto Jewel.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
So, I just equipped my Deadly Rod just so I could start killing stuff a little bit faster, and as you saw, it missed, of course. It's a 20% chance to happen, however, it happens about 80% of the time. That's a joke.
Yeah, it misses 104% of the time.
Of course.
It always misses when you need it to hit. That's just how it works.
I tried to get a Cancer Rock, but I didn't get it. Oh well.
Yeah, same for me. Maybe another opportunity will bless us.
I got the Misto Jewel. That's a good enough drop for me. I really can't ask for anything more. Except for an old sword from a leech, that'd be pretty cool.
For context, the Misto Jewel and also the Old Sword, which will appear in the 70s and beyond as a drop, they drop at 2%, so getting one is, as you can assume, a ridiculously difficult and lucky thing to find. Misto Jewel boosts agility by a lot. I think it boosts it more than the Silver Eye that I found, so it's a big boon for Zack to have for agility.
Yeah, it's really useful. And it has instant death properties to it, too. That's the one that has the instant death, right?
I think so. Or is it the?
I think it's literally called Ninja.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I got a 2% drop, and I missed an 80% chance to instantly kill one of them at the time. So, as you can tell, this game is weird. Alright, I need to get moving.
So if you're listening to the music of the game, you'll notice that it changed one time when we got from floor 20 to floor 21 when we both entered this portion of kind of what looks more like a basement than a cave. When Zack and I hit floor 41, it's going to change one more time, and it's going to stay that way for a pretty significant period of the remainder of the run. Only for the final floor, again, will the music change at that point.
I do wish that it wasn't just a cave. I wish I had used like that shrine music from the main game at some point. At least that would have been a little more interesting.
And there's a handful of good songs in this track, or in this game. The game really is a pretty good game, all things considered. The Ancient Cave is the more fun category to run, and I'd say a lot of other people probably agree, despite it being such a volatile thing to do. But the game itself is fun. The things that you do in here to try to survive can be very fun, satisfying, gratifying when you pull it all off. But definitely check out the main game, which does have the Ancient Cave available within it, if you're new to this and want to just give it a try, see what it's like without dipping your feet into it too hard. The way Zack and I are playing is that we jumped into this through gift mode, which you unlock by beating the game twice. Gift mode lets you take any party member and any capsule monster with you. Normally wouldn't have that ability, just because of the way the loadout works, where the campaign only gives you so many options to take people into the cave with. Decker is probably the most important character to take in. Artie right there with him. Unfortunately, there's no in-game composition that will allow you to do that. So how you play the Ancient Cave through the campaign is a whole different story.
Yeah, and a lot of people like to do the Ancient Cave in the main game when they have Decker available most of the time.
The party that you can take with Decker, in this case, would be the same party that we have, only instead of Artie, we'd be swapping in Stalon. She is a slower but slightly stronger version of Artie. They can use a lot of the same stuff. They both are very, very magically proficient. Stalon is just a lot slower, and as you see with Artie's speed, it really matters to have the ability to outpace your enemies so they don't shred you or do anything bad to you before they get a chance to. The early floors are rough because you get beat up by a lot of things by not having the ability to just run away. And the mid to late can be really rough if you're not at a relatively high level because Lan's EXP or speed growths just haven't kicked in yet. That said, in 100% runs, I'm pretty sure Zack will frequently run her, simply because she is quite good in that context. It's just in an any percent run like this that she's not very good.
I would suggest if you're a beginner player, I would take Selin over Guy, just because she can utilize a lot more. One of the big reasons you bring her in 100% is because she has a lot more options. She can heal, she can wear instant death, and a lot of those useless blue chest items that you get are now not useless. She can utilize, I think, most of the gear from the blue chest. I think more than any other character she can, you know, utilize.
And not just blue chest gear, but in general, she has the highest available equipment stuff pool out of everybody.
Which is very useful. Okay. I don't know why I dove in that room. That was kind of silly. I was looking for cores, so I'm trying to get to the next set of cores. Hopefully we find them. The biggest wall that's coming up now are the Assassin's older brother, which is ninjas, and they are by far more deadlier. And honestly, if you make it past blue mimics and some of the earlier enemies, I would say a newer player's biggest wall will be ninjas. You'll probably die to ninjas more than any other enemy when you first start out. Easily.
Ninjas are scary, they're angry, they will hunt you down. You saw us dealing with the assassins earlier, and they're not the worst thing to have to fight. They only go one time per turn. They're fast and they'll outspeed you pretty often, but they only go one time. They have like a 10% chance to use their instant kill attack, and if they don't use it, then it's not, you know, game over. Only 3 can appear on the screen, so if they go, they're only going to either use their regular attack or their instant kill attack, and you've got 4 party members, so you're pretty much guaranteed to run away. Ninjas are not so. They still have that 100%, or the one move that will kill if you're unfortunate, but they also bring to the table the ability to go twice per turn instead of just once. And they have an ability called Knife Thrower, which, if you remember watching me deal with those blue mimics earlier and seeing that frenzy attack, it's pretty much the same thing, where it hits everybody hard, and if all 3 of them use Knife Thrower, even a well-built any percent party with both of our tanks properly set up with a lot of heavy armor don't necessarily stand a chance at surviving the battle.
Well, the only thing I'm lacking right now is spells and levels. I don't really have a lot of good levels. So I'm in trouble if ninjas decide to be really dirty today. I might kill a few things to survive.
I got lucky and I got a couple of green cores here. Looks like we're pretty much on the same pace with each other, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's good. I also got the Mega Axe and a Silver Eye, which was nice.
Ooh. Oh, you got a Silver Eye too?
Yeah, I got one. I was like, oh, yes!
Want to tell people what's really cool about the Iris things? I just got an Iris armor.
I have the Iris sword.
Oh, snap. The game has collectibles in it. The collectibles in this case are referred to as Iris items. The Iris items themselves are effectively useless. You can get 10 of them. 9 of them are chest items, and only 1 can spawn per floor maximum. The 10th one can be earned by defeating the jelly at the very end, and it's just given to you. You don't really get told that you have it, you just have it. Receiving all 10, if you providence out and take them with you, you can deposit them into the basement that you had when you went to pick up your party members early on. And all you do is get a congratulations, you did it. It's not even like the Pokedex in Pokemon Red and Blue where it just says, hey, you can print this off and show it to your friends. You just kind of get a high five.
Alright, I think that's the best I'm gonna get. I needed green cores, I didn't get them, and I'm on ninja floors now.
What level are you?
20.
Oof.
Yeah, I know. So, when the ninjas have full roam aggro, so as I explore, I'm going to be swinging and staying in the doorways so that they don't come out and try and kill me. Oh my god. One of my Windows pop-ups just came up telling me to update. Because they have full roam aggro, if you swing your sword at the door, or if you stay in the doorways and walk, they'll walk to you. So like there, like we know there's a ninja there, so we're not going in that direction. If I can get past them, I'll be fine. Now there's other ways to avoid them, like I see the stairs here. I'm gonna swing, see if there's a ninja. I don't see one, so I'm gonna go ahead and explore for a little bit. If there were a ninja, you can kind of get some distance between them. Like if you get one stuck behind an obstacle, like a bush or a chest or something, you can get them stuck, and that way you can still explore. Like I'm still trying to gather some stuff. I'm trying to see if there's any cores nearby, which I don't think that there will be. However, I do have deadlies, and I have destroy, so I don't have to equip one for maximum, because destroy is a spell that instantly kills at a 50% rate. But I'm trying to be very careful where I go here. I don't want to die. So like right here is rough. So there was nothing I could do about that, period. So we're just gonna have to live. Alright. This is gonna be rough. There's not a whole lot I can do about this. I could die here. We're gonna go ham as much as we can. I'm gonna cast Valor with Maxim just in case. Already could be stronger, I don't know. We're gonna try. He is not. Now we gotta pray we don't get knife thrown, and we have to pray Maxim doesn't die either. Uh-oh. Alright, well, we killed one, but it's kind of late now. Oh my god. I think we'll come out of it alive, barely. I had to use up all my IP.
The important thing is that you can run away from these guys and then jump back in to fight them another day. And sometimes that's just what you have to do, because you aren't necessarily given the hand of all the things that you'll need in order to kill them efficiently.
Yeah. Right there, I just happened to have the Mega Axe and I had Bomb Attack, so I had options to AoE them. Like, I knew Decker and Guy would survive. Granted, I didn't get hit with 3 knife throwers, which is rare, by the way, but it can happen. Alright, let's hustle.
I'm right there with you. I got a ninja blocking a door to the stairs.
Oh boy. So like right now, like if there was ninjas, I'm getting behind the bush. If I have a ninja behind a bush, like if I have them on the opposite end of it, there's a little pattern that you can do where you can guarantee a side attack, not a back attack, but a side attack, which could give you the first strike, which could mean the difference between dying or continuing your run. So the pattern would be, if you're on one side and he's on the other, would be to go one step over, and I just go down, up, turn right, and swing. The ninja will be in this position, and I'll be in this position, so I'll have a 50% chance of getting a first strike on it. That's one of the many ways you can do, if you have to encounter the ninja, you can up your survival chance, because you could just always not get the first strike. It's a 50% chance, but it's your best method to surviving. I just wanted to show that off in case anybody wanted to know how to combat that. Or like I said, you can get stuck behind a bush, and if the room is big enough, you can get some distance between you and the ninja, allowing you to get into a room. Like if you're in a ninja room, or if you're in a room you're not sure if there's a ninja in there, don't swing at the door if you see the stairs, or if you see like a door really close. Try and go for it if it's close enough, because you don't want to get stuck having to fight the ninja by dragging it to the door. You want to try and take your options wherever you can get them, and take any advantage to get away from the ninjas. I don't like samurais, I hate their movement.
Speaking of getting away from ninjas, you'll notice that they do move a couple of tiles for every move that you do. You can take advantage of that and sometimes outrun the ninjas to the stairs. For instance, if they would come in contact with you, but you land on the stairs before they make their second tile move, then you will beat them to the stairs and then trigger the stair drop before the fight would actually trigger. So even though the screen will show them in contact with you just because of how everything loads, you won't actually have to fight them in that case. And it's something rare that you can do. It doesn't always happen. It requires really lucky proximity. But every time you get it, it's just a matter of literally just sprinting to the stairs. And if you get lucky, it feels good, because there's one fight that you don't have to do. Oh, Iris shield to boot.
Stop it. You're making me nervous. still have not really got any levels. I'm still level 20, but I'm past the ninjas. I would say the only thing that could really ruin life right now would be Warm Eyes. But I do have instant death, and I'm coming up on no cores, I guess, eventually.
For context, in any percent run, you can absolutely get to the jelly and defeat it by level 30 or so. So the fact that Zack is only level 20 right now means that he's going to have a little bit of a pickle if he has to get involved in any significant amounts of combat. But it is possible that if he gets a couple of cores or a couple of good enemy kills, then he may just be caught up exactly to where he wants to be. Of course, the more levels, the better. But a speedrun means going fast, and going fast means you don't usually take the time in order to get safe levels.
Ooh, I got the lizard blow.
Why is the lizard blow good, Zack?
The lizard blow is good because, for one, it's one of the highest. I think it is the highest attacking power, maybe under the Myth Blade. However, one of the benefits it has is its IP attack does 3 times the damage when you hit an enemy. It's what we would call a finisher. While the fractional weapons are really useful, you want a finisher just so you can kind of so you can do static damage rather than fractional damage. Because after a few hits with the HP fractional weapons, you get like diminishing returns, and they're no longer any good. So you want a weapon that'll hit really hard. The lizard blow hits 3 times damage in one swing, so he can do like 8, 900, 1,000 damage, which is a lot. When you've already dealt like half of it with the Decker Blade, or 1/4 with the Myth Blade afterwards, or something. Also, the benefit of those weapons that have 3 times damage for their IP thing, if you crit with them, they also do 3 times damage, but you have to get a crit. Which doesn't happen all the time, but it's your best bet when you're swinging at the jelly and getting a crit. You could do like an extra couple hundred damage, which is not bad. I explained that correctly, right?
Yep. Yeah, the old sword and the Myth Blade are the only red chest weapons that are more powerful than the lizard blow. Blue chest weapons are often more powerful than the lizard blow, but they come at the cost of not having a built-in ability that does a multiplier's worth of damage. They'll target multiple enemies, they'll deal elemental damage, but they won't have a multiplier. That's why the Cancer Rock that we were talking about earlier, and possibly the Hydora Rock if we manage to find one, is important, because it means that whatever weapon you have equipped, you can do a 2 times or a 3 times damage based attack out of it. I just found my 3rd Earth Jewel from blue chests.
I'm trying to kill Hydoras over here.
Hydoras are weak to the ice element. Do you have any ice magic or freeze swords by any chance?
I have Gale.
That's something.
I have no good spells. The only spell I have that's decent is I have Spark Staff, so I do have access to Firebird. Except I quit the Deadly, so no, I don't. I'm a liar.
No, you have the Curse Lifter. You can get it back.
I guess I could. Alright, I'm not even gonna try and fight that. That room was rough. I am gonna fight this, though. No, it missed.
Oof.
I'm trying to get some EXP. Although I'm coming up on no core, so I don't know why I'm doing this. I guess just trying to survive. I'm gonna run away.
And Hydoras give a good chunk of EXP regardless.
Yeah, I got a couple of levels from
you
it,
don't
but I'm
get
gonna
any.
wait till no cores. I don't know why I'm fighting this. Because I'm almost there. Alright, here we go. I'm just gonna skip. Neither one of us have a Decker Blade, right? You don't have one, I don't think. I think I saw somebody asked about that, but no. Neither one of us have Decker Blades as far as I know. Would be nice. Alright. So I pretty much bailed in that room. I was gonna go into the other door to see if I can find some cores, but that behemoth wasn't playing nice, so I just left. It's one of those like moments where you kind of have to decide if you want to sit there and try and pull it out to go look for cores. However, I have a few more floors where I can find them on.
The important thing about the 50s range is not only are the no cores in here, between cores 58, 59, and 60, but the Hydoras that drop the Hydora Rock are from 53, 4, 5, and 58, 9, and 60. Having those gives us, of course, options to use like a blue chest sword or something if we can get one. If we don't find them, then there is one more drop that we can take advantage of. Also, the pool of items that load into the chests as you progress through the cave stops at 60, with the final addition being the Myth Blade. Ideally, from 60 on, you're going to find what you need if you haven't already found it, but it can be spooky. But you don't need to worry about the pool being filled with more clutter. Floors 50 and onward have the Old Sword and the Lizard Blow, which are both very important, and then the Myth Blade, which is also a very important option. After this, though, combat becomes really scary. A lot of the things that we face either have a ton of HP and can't be beaten down very easily by our team unless we have an elemental spell or an elemental weapon with a multiplier built into it, or we have a deadly weapon that's effective against it. Or a third option, you can heal them if they're an undead enemy that has a lot of HP. But there are things that just have an obscene amount of HP, and there's just no realistic way to kill them. For instance, there's some enemies coming up that will have about 2,800 hit points, and those are Orkies. They can attack 8 times per turn. They're like a super Hydra or Hydora here, and we don't want to mess with them because they're fast, they hurt a lot. You've seen what happens to us when we have people that go, or enemies can go more than one time anyway. It's just not fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of late game enemies that are no fun. There's a lot. The worst is Double Archfiend, in my opinion. Well, actually, my least favorite combination of monsters is Archfiend and Leech. It's awful, because you can't instantly kill the Leech, but you don't want Artie to waste his turn trying to kill the Archfiend. You want him to kill the Leech because the Leech will go first, so you want to zap it. Zapping it will kill it in one hit. It's such a rough battle, in my opinion. I hate that setup. Even in 100%, that battle can be really, really bad.
Oh yeah, all the Leech needs to do is paralyze Artie and then prevent him from being able to do anything.
Yep. When a Leech physically attacks... Like, if it does, like, a spell, it's okay. However, it makes the Archfiend get a turn because you're too busy trying to kill the Leech, but if he does a spell and the Archfiend hits you at Double Thunder, it can definitely kill your run. And yes, I did get a no-core. That's what the no-cores are, those little gray blobs.
Oh, you're on them as well?
Yeah, I just had one.
I just got one, and I might get another one.
I got in 2 battles with it, but I only got one.
Yeah, I just got 2 no cores here at 58. Darn, I got no cores.
One way or another, you're getting no cores.
That's right.
I have 8 miracles? What? What? When does that ever happen?
Well, this just means our runs are going pretty well.
I guess. Alright, so now that we're past floor 60, we can find Myth Blades now, if they decide to drop. We've been able to find Old Swords. The Lizard Blow also is a floor 50 threshold, same as the Old Sword. We can find them all at this point. And yes, the Decker Blade does still drop. Its threshold is just floor 15, but other than that, it does drop still. We just gotta find it. You don't have to have the Decker Blade to win, but it makes it a lot easier.
When one move deals over half of the HP of the jelly, it really is a big relief to have that available. Even if it is on your slowest person, it goes at the end of your first turn.
Oh, I just got zapped. About time. Not that I need it anymore, but I mean, it's still useful, but still.
There are items that don't necessarily spawn after a while. For instance, in this game, where the Decker Blade stays in the pool from the minute it appears until the very end. Things like elemental rings, which appear on floors 4 through 9, some other goodies, accessories, gloves, helmets, unless they're in a blue chest, for whatever reason, they don't appear from floor 10 onwards.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's been noticing, but we don't get any jewels, any rings, or any helmets, or shields, or anything like that. That's actually a bug. It starts at floor 9, and you can tell when the bug's happening, because on floor 9, all of your armors are aprons. And that's where, like, the bug starts, and then the game does not drop anything else afterwards. There are ROM hacks that do fix that, and you can get them all throughout. But those aren't really allowed for the 80% run. And somebody asked, do you have to kill the jelly in order to submit, like, a time? Yes, you do. Suiciding on the jelly is not allowed in any run, as far as I know. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was my bad. Just this room is terrible. This room is really bad.
Speaking of, I ended up doing that the other day after recovering from my recheck failures. You can... And for the purposes of completing the game, it will effectively mark itself as a win. So even if you don't kill the jelly or you get to the bottom floor, but you're just trying to complete the cave, get the spoils at the end of it, and have a bragging right, it is an option that you have. Again, it's just not submittable for a speedrun.
By the way, if I've gone quiet, it's because I'm trying to concentrate in this room that's got like 12 leeches in it. And by the way, I'm not mispronouncing that either. I know that they're most likely referred to as liches, but I'm going with the translation. I'm saying leech. By the way, those Spinks drop old, I think they drop old shields.
Old helmet?
I thought the old... Wait, old helmet? Oh, it is old helmet. It's old helmet. Somebody drops a shield. I can't remember.
I think the Cyclops dropped something old, and
they dropped the
Sphinxes
armor. They dropped the armor. I think
Okay.
you're right. The Sphinx dropped the helmets. I've gotten it one time, and the leeches dropped the swords. Who drops the shield? I can't remember. Oh, that's gonna drive me nuts. They might drop the shield. Maybe the Cyclops do drop that, and then the armor just comes from the chest. Alright, this is not good. There's so... Oh, God. No, there's nothing in there.
I shot the floor 62. Zach, I think you're close to the 70s, right? If you're talking about leeches.
Define close.
If leeches are on your screen, you're at 67.
Well, the problem is leeches are on my screen, so I really can't move. I can't do anything. They're in this hallway, and it's really bad. I need this thing to scoot over. I'm not fighting this guy. These are the holy dragons. They're pretty bad. They have an AoE called Cold Stream, and it is pretty deadly. Go up. Go up. I didn't know what step I was on, so I had to slow down. Alright, I think the leech probably popped in here. Doesn't matter. We're good. Okay. Okay, that was a little scary, but we're fine. We're okay.
If you think you're safe by playing around in a doorway, around teleporting enemies so that they won't sneak up on you and get you, think again. Enemies can occasionally teleport through a doorway and snipe you from the other side of it. So you're not always in the clear just because you think, oh yeah, look, I'm just hugging the door. Now enemies that walk, they cannot walk into a door, they can only teleport into a door. So for instance, the dragons, ninjas when they were chasing us down, you are safe in the doorway.
Yeah, and the leeches only teleport when you're away from them. I think it's like 5 or 6 tiles. Oh god, away from them they'll teleport. There are enemies that teleport only when you're close to them, like necromancers. Enemies that do that same thing like Ellie was saying about the doors, you can use that to your advantage. If there's a room that you're having trouble getting into, you can actually, if you know how to do it, pull the teleporters out of the room and get them out so you can get around whatever enemies are in there. It's kind of tricky. Sometimes I still mess up with it, but it is doable. It's something you can learn and do, and it has allowed me to survive many runs. The necromancers are very dangerous. You would think, like, oh, they're not as dangerous as the big dragons. It's quite possibly the opposite. They are more dangerous than the dragons. You just gotta be careful with them. Like I said, you can pull them around. You can direct them, where the dragons move in a random pattern at a different direction every single time. The necromancers, you can move. You can actually guide them.
Another thing about the necromancers is that when they teleport, they always teleport facing the direction that they're looking at. So you can stage it so that if they teleport towards you or away from you, depending on what direction you're facing, you can make it so that way you can secure them as not being able to attack you because they're looking in a different direction compared to what direction you're running. It can be a little tricky sometimes because you have to get them to wander around to change what direction they are facing, but it is an option to get them off your tail.
The PAL version has a lot of fixes in it. I used to run on the PAL version and didn't know it until I saw somebody playing on the regular version and realized that the game was running a lot slower, and I was like, what's going on here? I have to do some equipping here, or feeding, because I have a full inventory.
Oh. So what have you got so far? You got Lizard Blow?
Lizard Blow, and I guess the Deadly Rod would be the best thing to use.
I have a Red Saber and Trick.
Oh, you have Trick? Well, that's good. Sully's being kind of Sully today.
Fighting gold gorms here, never fun, but there were only two that I needed to worry about.
Yeah, Golgorms are pretty dangerous. They have a move called Golden Mist that they can cast on every single turn, and it hits everyone, doesn't ignore defense, and it, like, kills everyone pretty much in any percent. One of them can kill you, and if there's three of them, they can do it 3 times. Oh, he went the Buster Sword. Whatever, we're fine. I had to feed my capsule monster. I had a full inventory, which is kind of weird. I guess I've been picking up a lot more than I should have. Alright.
Advantage of lunchtime too. We do need to feed our pets eventually. The second form of Sully for Zack gets access to an instant kill move, which is pretty helpful. Doesn't use it too often, but when it does, it's you're happy.
Yeah.
Want that magic scale? Too bad. I'm not getting it.
So I opted to kill that dragon rather than lure it out, and the reason was it would have been a waste of time to try and get it out when I take the chance just to kill it. With the leech floating around in the room, I didn't want to take any chances. Leeches, when they teleport far away from you, they can also teleport anywhere on top of you as well, and I didn't want to take that chance. Poke my little head in the door. So this enemy right here, these are called Gorgons. They're not too bad, they can hurt, but the main benefit of this enemy is they drop a jewel called the Gorgon Rock. I have a Gorgon Rock, but these drop a Gorgon Rock. And it increases your attack, has a little bit of other properties to it. However, its IP attack is that it does 1/8 of any enemy's HP. So it can, oh my god, already it's just missing deadlies. Any enemy's HP at 1/8, and any character can equip this, so I could use it on anyone. And I got it. I think that's like an 8% drop chance.
No, it's a 15% drop.
15? I thought it was 8. Okay, cool. Well, we got it.
Yep, it's really good for people who have a deadly weapon equipped and don't have the curse lifter to take it off, because it's an accessory and therefore it's not going to conflict with what it is that you're wearing. Now, it can only be used one time, where the Deadly Rod's IP, which is exactly the same, can be used up to 3 times.
Maxim's Destroy has hit like 6 times in a row, but Artie's Deadly missed like 5 times in a row. I don't know what's going on. But Destroy is working overtime. I am lucking out with that. I'm gonna go in there. The stairs are right there. So all the enemies that I've been killing right now have also been giving me EXP. I mean, I did get a no core, but the EXP values are really good. So as far as like my levels are concerned, I'm doing fine. However, my IP needs to go up. I don't have all the way IP, so I got to farm that eventually. And there's one particular enemy that I do like to farm IP from, and I think most people do. However, it can be kind of a gamble. In terms of time, they can't kill you if you know what you're doing, but in terms of time, yes, you can run into some pretty bad issues with them, since they're very superficial and they like to look at themselves in the mirror.
You thinking cinders, or are you thinking something different?
Copper dragons.
Yep.
Oh, that's there it is. There's our first one. That is the Archfiend. That's the. We're gonna stay as far away from that enemy as possible, if we can. And it looks like I can, so we're gonna drag it over here to get it away from me. And go up here. So that's what the Archfiend sprite looks like. That thing right there can and will kill me. We do not want to fight it. At any cost, we will never engage it. We will not touch it. We will go nowhere near it. I only had to go near it because it was by the door. Luckily, I know how to move them, but there's some times where that just doesn't happen. We gotta be very careful that we do not run into them. These enemies down here, these Hades, these little chariot enemies, they are weak to holy damage. However, you want to stay away from those as much as possible as well. And the reason is because the battle could have 2 Hades. It could also have an Archfiend in it, so we stay away from those as well. But the Archfiends aren't always Archfiends. There's a very slim chance that they could have Ice Rogs in them. They're just as dangerous if they get their spell casting off. They have a move called Cruel Storm that hits everyone and it hurts. However, they're more manageable. They're slower. They have lesser HP.
They're way slower.
Yeah, way slower. So you can, get the jump on them and kill them. But Archfiends avoid at all costs.
It was recently discovered what floors that Archfiend sprites don't actually load in Archfiends, which is pretty nice. There's 3 floors that you're actually safe from the double Archfiend.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that was figured out like a month ago. But
does the same go for like gold dragons? Not that they're as big of a deal, but
I don't know. I should try to look into that. But yeah, there's it was figured out for Archfiends, and it was also figured out for Wind Genies, what floors that
I hate those.
Load them on. Archfiends are almost always faster than you. Wind Genies are faster than that.
Yeah,
Wind Genies have the ability to not do an attack. They can suck away your MP though, which can make extended runs really difficult. And they have the ability to do an AoE that hits your entire party. They can come in 3s, and as you know, multiple things that have an AoE ability are probably very threatening, and Genies are no different from that.
Yeah, there are certain enemies that are a lot easier to move and a lot easier to manipulate. And there's also certain enemies that are just harder in general because of how you can approach them. And what I mean by that is, so the strongest enemy in the entire cave, the deadliest enemy in the entire cave, is probably hands down the gold dragons. And you're thinking, oh, it's really scary. It's scary if you get into a back attack with them, because you're probably going to die. It's also scary to engage them and try and kill them with deadlies, and you miss your deadlies, because they're decently fast and they're very deadly. However, they're not the deadliest enemy, and the main reason I'm going to argue that is because you cannot you can back attack dragons. You can't back attack Archfiends. which puts Archfiends at my high list, at the highest, like, oh god, you're gonna die list, because you can't back attack them, and you can't navigate them. They come towards you, so unless you're in the room with them and you have an advantage over the movement, getting back into that room is really dangerous. So they're probably still, by far, in my opinion, the deadliest enemy in the entire cave. I'm gonna go for this Gorgon. I know I already have one, but, you know, might as well get another one. God. I missed so many 80% chances, man. Almost no point now.
Now, Zach would like that Gorgon Rock so he can have a second 1/8 fractional ability in case he doesn't have a better option for someone else. The quirk to this game's drop mechanics are that if something drops and you're already holding it and it happens to be an accessory, it doesn't show up at the end of the battle to say, hey, you've received the drop, congratulations. You can just suddenly have two of a thing in your pocket and not even realize it. So Zach, I don't know if you've equipped one, but if you haven't equipped it, then you might surprise yourself.
I think I did equip it. No, I didn't equip it. However, I do want to say something about the Deadly Rod. The 80% chance of instantly killing is merely a suggestion. It's not a real... Oh, God. Okay, so this is one of those situations that I was talking about. So there's an Archfiend here. There's a way for me to get around it, kind of, but I'm going to go ahead and take the battle with the Genie. I can actually get around this Genie, but it's faster if I just kill... Oh, God, maybe not. This is pretty dangerous. So we're going to put one to sleep. We're going to Terrorball one if we can. I'm going to destroy one, and Artie will also kill one, hopefully. Good. Alright. Yeah, how many deadlies have you missed?
I had a 3 in a row miss at Ninjas a while ago, which was pretty scary.
Oh, well, that's nice.
It's a pretty typical number, you know. I just hit 72, so I'm just kind of walking into Archie's, and I just found a Lizard Blow, so...
That's good. That's really good.
A Red Saber, Lizard Blow with Trick, but no fractionals, means that I've got a lot of punching power, but I don't have any good leads.
Okay.
You've got that Deadly Rod, which will give you a pretty big jump. But without Trick... Oh, you've got Zap, right?
I do have Zap.
Yeah, so you've got some good magic.
So, I mean, the Deadly Rod, hitting it 3 times is probably the best option I have, unless I get another fractional. But I mean, I have the Gorgon Rock, that's about it. So I don't know what kind of setup I need. Oh, I do have 2 Gorgon Rocks. Okay, I didn't equip it. Nice. So I have 2. I mean, at this point, the Deadly Rod might be my best bet, I would say.
I think so, unless you have a, I don't know, a Freeze Bow, maybe, or...
No, I don't.
Artie?
No.
Which is an okay.
Yeah, I think I have a Miss Rapier, and that's about it.
Oh, those are better than the Freeze Bow. I was looking up alternatives, and the Freeze Bow was up there. It was okay.
Oh, baby. It is time. I don't think we have to worry about it, sir.
You got the 4-star screen hallway here or something?
No, it was a positive. Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
I got the Decker Blade.
Congratulations.
Oh, boy. But I'm kind of in a nasty room. I don't know what's down here, and I can't tell because this dragon won't move, and I don't want to move the Genie. I gotta get IP, though, at some point. Okay, nothing there. Alright. I don't want to fight genies right now. I really don't, but this dragon needs to go away for me to be able to do this. Or I can maybe get past this one. I gotta get IP, though. I don't have the IP. Alright, if the dragon goes down, that'd be ideal.
But once you hit floor 88, then you don't have any Archfiends to worry about still, so... You're probably pretty close to that, I think, because you're a little ahead of me.
Yeah, but I'm kind of stuck. this is not the way to go. This is not the way to go. Alright, good. Eventually I'm gonna have to get my IP back, we're just not doing it right now. Okay. Whew. Oh, the worst feeling in the world is going through a door and there being an Archfiend right on top of it, because you know you aggroed it. Luckily that didn't happen, but that's just one of those main things that I don't like to see. He's just gonna keep running, never mind. Alrighty, so... we need to survive. I'm still gonna be picking up like normal, I'm not just rushing or anything like that. Never a good idea. Okay, see, if I have to go into that room, that Hades right there could have an Archfiend in it. Now, I don't think it'll kill me, but it could set me back if I have to fight it. I'd have to survive it, and there's a genie right at the end. Things like that. So we want to get everything that we can together. If the Decker Blade is good, why did I not equip it? The Decker Blade is a good... so the Decker Blade's benefit is its IP attack. It does half of any enemy's damage, HP. So if the Jelly has 10,000 HP, I'll do 5k to it with my IP attack. However, the Decker Blade itself is not very strong. Right now, I have... oh god, I got a glitch floor.
Oh, you got one too?
Yeah, if the stairs are over there, I don't know what to do. I know there's a way to navigate. No, I got the stairs. Okay, good. Yeah, and I did get it, and I got tricked. The reason why I don't equip it is because it's not very strong. I have a Mega Axe on Decker, which is probably his strongest attacking weapon at this moment. So we're gonna hold out for that. But yes, I did. I got a glitch floor. I'm gonna look at it.
You both had one. This
Look
is
how
pretty
tiny.
Cool. It doesn't happen at all.
Oh my god. Oh god. It's so tiny.
The lizard, you got the deadly rod, you got her blade, you got zap. You're pretty much set in the...
yeah, I don't feel any. But I gotta get my IP still, and that's always ugh. And I gotta survive. I'm still not out of Archfiend territory, and until then, I don't feel safe. Tiny room.
I like tiny room.
Wouldn't that have been something? I get all that, and then the tiny room kills me.
I had that happen in a marathon about a year ago. Not tiny room, but a stairless floor.
I had it happen in a race. That was awful. That was the worst feeling. I was like on floor 35 or something. Oh no. Okay, so there's an Archfiend there. I'm gonna go down here first. I don't want to go anywhere near that Archfiend. And like we were saying, the reason you don't want to go anywhere near the Archfiend is because it has it'll move after you, even through the doors. Typically, when you go through a door, enemies stop moving for you. They stand still. But Archfiends are one of the ones that transcend the doors, so you don't want to aggro them ever, unless you have to, because your options of trying to go back into a previous room become a lot less. So because I know that I have to go up, we're gonna move them. There are ways to get distance from Archfiends when you're trying to get away from them. Like right now, he's gonna get stuck on that bush, so he can't get me ever. So I know. Oh god, that's a problem. All right, so
Yeah.
we
iron
are
pot
in
is a problem.
trouble. We are in trouble. That Archfiend.
For everyone who's actually talking virus%, you're all very funny in chat. But yeah, I just got an iris pot, so that's 3 items I've got now. Which is sad that you can't do anything with them in the regular run.
I got lucky, but also the way that I moved that Archfiend. So because the Archfiend moves through the door, I anticipated that it was going to move while I was on the other side. So what I did was, the Archfiend constantly wants to correct itself. It wants to correct itself by putting it on the left side of your sprite. On its left side. So you can actually utilize that by moving it through the door. So if I move it to the right, it's going to constantly try and go down every other step to get to me. Every other step, it's going to try and do that. So I knew that if I moved over if I had a little bit of room to move over, I could push it out of the way. I mean, I could get it to where I could, like, get through without having to kill it. That was the only way I could think of to get through that. Luckily it worked, and luckily there was no Archfiends in that Archfiend fight. It was just a Hades and an Ice Rog, which was nice. Very, very nice. So we were able to get through that with no problem. But right now, we are officially done with Archfiends.
Oh, you're at Archfiend Hell, huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good feeling. However, it can get worse. Even though we're out of Dragon territory, we are in Necromancer territory. Or, at this point, I think they're called Dark Summoners. But I call them Necros.
Yeah, the Dark Summoners and the Metallic Dragons.
Yes. They are very, very dangerous, and we do not want them to touch us at all. We only ever want to engage them if we back attack them. Other than that, we do not touch Necromancers. If you engage them from the front or the side, regardless if it's a back attack, they can kill you. There's usually 4 of them, and they attack, 3 times, and it's usually AoEs.
They can go 2 times each, but because they outspeed you, you're going to get potentially up to 8 attacks. They have the ability to cast an instant death spell on your entire party.
Yep.
They have 2 different Shadow and Thunder elemental attacks that hit everybody for not a ton of damage, but just enough so that way when it piles up, it'll probably kill at least 2 of your party members, possibly 3. And if they get the jump on you and get a surprise attack, you're not running away. That's 16 turns of a beating that you need to survive.
Yeah, they cast Perish, which is like a 25% chance split amongst all of your party members, including Sully. If anybody wants to know, well, what are the odds of it actually killing somebody? My record is 3 characters being killed from it at once. So, if that's any indication of how ridiculous this game can be sometimes. I'm gonna do that because I actually turned it
Now,
back.
even into a fight and there's only 1 or 2 of those Dark Summoners in the fight, the Dark Summoners themselves can call for backup, and the backup that they can call includes the leeches.
Yeah.
That I've been frightened about for a while. They have other enemies they can call that aren't as threatening, like those chariots, which are
Yeah, they're not
scary.
bad.
They don't hurt you as much because they don't hit everybody. So there are ways to get out of it without too much death, but still, you don't want to find yourself in a pickle where you just, you're thinking, oh look, it's only 2, I can kill them. Your deadly misses, and then suddenly you're stuck fighting a horde of leeches.
Yeah, and then you're in trouble. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm farming IP on the only enemy I know at this point will not absolutely decimate me. Because there's 1. If there was 2, they could still kill me, but I managed to set up a position where I killed 1 and put 1 to sleep. So even if 1 did survive the deadly, 1 would more than likely be asleep. And Artie's pretty quick, so he would have got another turn anyway, and I would have just done something else to try and, like a sleep ball or a freeze ball or something to make sure that didn't kill me. Anything I can to make... I'm sorry?
You take off Sully too, so he doesn't perish punch?
I did. I removed Sully from his second form and put him... I need to move him back. Into his first form because he has a move called Perish Punch, and I didn't want him to kill the dragon. Unlikely, but he can do it. We didn't want to take that risk. We did get the IP. We are good. Well, we're not good. We can still die. There's a couple of things that can just kill us, like, if I get into a party room and it's hard to navigate, I could just spend all that time trying to kill enemies, or I could die in the middle of it getting stuck. Necromancer could get me in a doorway like this. We're going to pull it out for safety. Or I can still get floor glitched. You always have to worry about getting floor glitched, unfortunately. Alright, let me go this way.
Now, there's one thing you might have noticed that Zach and I have tried to do as often as possible, and it matters even more in these late floors than it does in the early floors. The stairs, when you run onto them, obviously it brings you further down into the cave, and it matters how you enter the stairs, because if you noticed, whenever you walk into a room, all enemies that load in, they're facing downwards. And if you walk into the stairs, whatever direction you're facing when you walk into the stairs is what you're going to be facing when you get out of them. So it's useful to be able to hit the stairs at directions that have you not likely to get hit in multiple ways. If you walk up the stairs, then you're facing upwards, which means an enemy can never get the jump on you and have a full turn's worth of surprise attack combat on you. It doesn't give you any back attack chances, it just means that they can't get a surprise attack on you, so it bumps your survival up. Again, in the early floors, it doesn't matter too much. Mosquitoes and mushrooms aren't going to end your run, but these dragons, they can go sometimes, depending on what version they are, multiple rounds per turn. The Dark Summoners, as described earlier, they can get up to 16 actions before you even get the chance to do a successful runaway.
I need to get through this door, and there's a dragon blocking it. It's got a gold dragon in the fight.
You got a smoke ball?
I don't think so. But I can get around it if it... I don't think I do. Let me double check. No. Yes, I do, actually. Yeah, I could use that. I was trying to save it, just in case. But I can't get a good back attack when it's sitting in the middle of the hallway. I did have one back attack where I saw it, but then it moved into the hallway. Oh, come on.
Now this is the consequence to a true any percent run. Even if you're doing great, if you're stuck in a situation where you're limited on how you can try to progress through a hall like this, you can either take a gamble at a 50-50 shot against something that has a legitimate chance to either destroy you or just really, really impede your speed and slow you down really hard.
Yeah, the gold dragon could just end the run.
Or you can just play it safe like Zach's doing and try to just trick it to move into a particular location. There's 2 spots that it can move that are going to be advantageous for him. I just took a peek at your screen. You can either move to the bottom right corner where he can get a full tile's worth of movement to just run around it, or if it somehow gets to the point where it's facing the wall on the right side, but it is one row up from the bottom, then he can get a back attack on it, run away, and then that can get him past it. Of course, if he were really risky, he could try to kill it for the XP, but I have a feeling that no one would ever do that voluntarily.
I just ran away from a dragon convention. I saw it. I saw the dragons, and I was like, nope. Luckily, the stairs weren't in there. I turned around and I found an empty room with stairs in it, which is always nice. Could you move, mister? Oh, boy. Alright, so we have a problem. A big problem. Okay. Okay.
Do you have a big problem?
Yes, this is a big problem. A nasty problem. I'm in a hallway with a necromancer and a dragon. And I don't know what the dragon is. Oh my god. A smoke ball.
Did you load into it?
I used my smoke ball on one necromancer. I didn't know what to do. I missed.
Now they're weak to holy elements, so if you have
I'm just gonna kill it. I'm not even gonna risk the 80%, so I'm just gonna zap it. However, the dragon's in the hallway, and I have to take up some sort of... I'm in a corner, and I don't see a door, so I have to take some sort of position here. And I use my smoke ball on the necromancer. Alright, luckily there's a bush between us. So my best bet's just to swing like this. I got the first strike. It's just 2 coppers. Thank God. Oh my God. The dragons are tearing me apart. Yeah, they can summon leeches, so I wanted to be as careful as... That was it, dude. Look at this floor. What floor are you on?
I think 92.
Not bad. Did you get a Decker Blade yet?
Nah, I don't really have anything. I've got a Lizard Blow, a Red Saver, and a couple of spells like Trick and Zap, Thunder.
I got Trick at some point.
Zach is looking really hot for a kill because he's got the Decker Blade, he has the Deadly Rod for Artie, so his fractional game is incredible. He's got pretty much what you would consider the ideal pickups. You can actually have all of those free items, the Deadly Rod plus the Curse Lift to go with it, and the Decker Blade by floor 15. Plus, with a couple of other things that can help just deal some exceptional damage. You can pick those up as you can progress through the cave. So those plus a handful of spells, which you can get spells at any point in the cave. Zack is just, if he doesn't get the kill, I'll be surprised just because of all the good stuff he's got. Ah, crap.
What?
I just did a misinput, and it was against a copper and a silver.
Oh no.
I didn't deadly the silver. But we lucked out, and it's not going to hurt us too bad. I guess I can't use this for IP grinding.
I don't like getting diamond dusted. Wait, where are the stairs? I don't understand. Gotta be around here somewhere. If I'm going quiet, it's just because I'm trying to concentrate, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, there they are. Okay. They were in the middle of this the whole time. I don't know what kind of setup I want. Definitely Decker Blade. Guy can have the Lizard Blade. That's his best weapon, because Maxim can have a finisher on.
He's got the Mist Rapier, if I recall.
I do.
His name earlier. Or a Silver Sword if you have that instead.
I do. And I've got a ton of items. Like, I've got, like... Oh, I can't, unequip.
11 HP. I just got double Cinder Blasted, and...
You got double Cinder? Oh god, who survived Decker?
Decker with 11 HP.
Oh boy.
That's not party for the most blind character this game has ever seen.
Am I talking to my own chat? No, I don't even have my chat open. When I play, I'm speaking as if I were streaming. I'm sorry, instead of being informative. I don't think I got any magic fruits now.
So you're right there. I got about 5 floors to go, but I'm taking a little time here to IP grind, so I hope
I'm
you
leveling,
get...
Sully. I'm taking my time here. You're good.
Squidward's house has to make an appearance, obviously.
Oh yeah, dude. Definitely.
Now, chat, if you haven't already, I say go ahead and whip out those calculators, because very, very soon, Zack is going to be showing the jelly what's up by beating him, and you want to definitely see how well those fractional attacks are, that Fatal Blow and the Deadly Rod's Devastation, which will go first, and I think last in his turn order, respectively.
I'm not done setting up. I couldn't unequip her or anything, so I was like, I'll just go feed Sully. By the way, if we have any fans of the show SpongeBob SquarePants in here, our character is about to make an appearance, a nice little cameo, and it is Squidward's house. Alright. Alrighty, let's see. We definitely want the damage. Let me give that to him. Camo armor, I've got 2 of them. Camo armor. We don't need him to go faster. We need more damage. Gorgon Rock would be nice. Since we're not actually using him, we're going to use him for damage. Decker, you can take the Gorgon Rock would be nice. Actually, take the Misto Jewel. No, Gorgon, I don't want you to have the agility. Already can take the one with the int. I don't think I had a magic scale. Okay, no, we should be fine. We do need to remove the deadly. So, I'm probably going to hit with the deadly and the Decker, And I'm just gonna use Maxim and Artie as I'm gonna use them as fractionals or finishers or whatever. I think we're good. Let's go. You always want to use your fractional weapons first. That way they get the fullest extent of the damage, where everyone else you can kind of do other options with if you can. I happen to have my fractional weapon with Artie, so Maxim's going to have to be the one to cast Trick. As far as Guy goes, I'm saving up for Laser Blow, so we're just going to attack. And the front row does do more damage even if it's fractional, so that's why we're putting them in the front row. We're going to Trick. Guy's gonna do 315 damage from the back row, which is good. Kind of a weaker Fatal Blow, but... I don't think Devastation will... Well, I guess we can use it one more time. It should be fun. We'll zap in the last turn. It should be
Turn
good.
2 Devastation really isn't that bad of an option.
It hit 422, which is about zap, so it's fine. But I did it in the back row. Any tier 3 spells with Maxim, so we're just gonna zap for the victory. And Sully has defended 2 times, I think. Alright, so... time will be if it dies for me. But, so I'm the one hitting the timer anyway. If it dies. If it dies. Oh, talk about last hit!
Oh, we got it.
Oh, we got it on the last hit. I must have set up poorly because that was way too close. Oh my god.
The Fatal was really, really bad.
Yeah. The Fatal Blow, I did Devastation, which hit for like 1500, and then Fatal Blow hit for like 4600.
Oh, that's really bad.
Yeah, it was pretty sucky. But we on the last hit, Decker killed it. Thank God. Whew. Now that was crazy.
Well, congratulations, dude. It's always good to just make it to the jelly in a marathon, but getting a jelly kill in the marathon is stupendous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you don't realize the sheer enormity of success that has just been earned, you should definitely give a round of applause and any cool emotes you got for Zach to appreciate, because he did a really cool thing here.
Oh, dude, the win streak continues. I think we're marathon safe.
Yeah, darn good time too, an hour 40.
I did take my time. Like, I could have ran with the Decker Blade, but I decided to take my time. So this could have been a lot less, but I I wanted to make sure I got there with everything I needed. Are you at the jelly yet?
I'm at floor 94. And I still don't have any fractionals at all. I tried to get Gorgons, no luck. I tried to get Cancers and Hydora Rocks, and nothing there. Enemy drops are bone dry for me today. So that said, I don't have any fractionals. If I did find a Decker Blade and score an incredible quality roll out of just the Decker Blade, I could still get the kill despite not having any others to pair with it. It'd be pretty unlikely given the stuff I have, but I mean, I've got everything else I need. I have a lot of levels, I have good spells, I have Trick to bump up my attack power, and I have Zeppy who can bump up my attack power even more.
And it's still really possible for him to get a Decker Blade. While highly unlikely, in the later floors, you can get them. I've gotten like 2 on 98 before, which is the last floor you can pick up chests. So it's possible. It's just a lot less likely because of the pool of items that get added in. But it's still possible, so we're hoping he'll get it. And then maybe we can get 2 jelly kills. And whenever you kill the jelly, you get a key. And then the jelly tells us... Bye-bye.
Tells you the... Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Now, Zach, if I don't find a fractional, I might show off the other method of becoming the world's best warrior, just for the sake of showing it off. That way, at least we can both earn the ancient key for the day.
Oh boy. Didn't you try that in the earlier the other day?
I did do it earlier. I did successfully do it last time. So, congratulations on beating me, sir.
Oh, dude.
But it is. I just kind of want to show off something different.
Yeah, it's fine. No, it's fine.
What I'm going to show off, unless I find a Decker Blade or like a Myth and Old or some other combination of things, is a way to kill the jelly without killing the jelly. And that involves, fortunately for me, a setup of gear that I have everything that I need to do it, plus a couple of things that I really don't need in order to do it. I'm still going to look for all the stuff I need, though, for the traditional kill, because those always feel better.
I mean, if you get the right... Yeah, I mean, if you get the right stuff, I want to see a kill. That'd be cool. I had a deadly sword, didn't I? I did. Actually, I had like 4 of them. I don't know, what was this run? That hallway was scary, though. Luckily, it was 2 coppers. Had it been 2 golds, if I didn't get, like, destroy and instant death on it, would have been bad. And before... I have died on floor 98 before.
Oh yeah, you're never safe when it comes to the ancient cave.
No.
If you know where the stairs are, it helps, because at least you know, okay, I don't have to worry about finding them wherever they could be, or worse yet, worry about the stairs not actually spawning, which can happen. So as long as you find the stairs, you're generally in good hands.
You can always get floor glitched, but it's pretty rare. Like, the fact that y'all saw both of us get it is really rare.
The one bad move could end it. Like, for instance, I walked down into this room and there was a dark summoner right there. And if I had walked up to escape the room, it did actually teleport into the doorway, and I would have gotten into combat with it. And if I didn't have proper preparations for that, or if I had moved down, I'm safe. But if I moved up, I would have been hosed. It's entirely possible I could just ended right there. So that's the nature of this game, is that no matter how much you play, unless you're on floor 2 or 3, you're never quite out of the woods. And that's what makes it as thrilling as it is. Every chest on every floor could be a surprise. And every time you go, you have to play pretty consistently all the way through. You can get lucky, of course. Get into a side attack with an enemy that you don't expect to get a side attack into. And then turn that into a back attack because of the 50-50 shot. That'll work out. But knowing this game and just playing through, whether it's casual or whether it's at a speedrun pace, mostly just comes down to having fun and knowing and understanding just enemy movement. That makes more sense than knowing elemental weaknesses and other things, because you're just able to strategically do a lot of things if you just know how to avoid combat in general, or how to make it so that way combat is as not very threatening and as harmless to you as it possibly can be.
Yeah, there's a lot of like knowledge that kind of goes into like how movement works, and there's a lot of repetition, a lot of practice that needs to be done in order to kind of decide what you think you need to do for the run. The typical any percent run is about an hour faster, well, about 45 minutes, 50 minutes faster than this. It really comes down to like what you know and what to expect when you're doing like ancient cave stuff. Like, we were like, oh, the deadlies are really good. You want to equip those. Not really, not right away. You don't want to equip them until you have to. Because you could get a run where you never have to equip it. It's very possible, and then you would, that would be a benefit to you. And then if you're wondering about the curse after thing, well, you can always equip the deadly at the jelly and uncurse it in the same go. So you'll still get that effect if that's something that you need for the jelly. You always want to keep your options open, and you always want to be prepared for anything can go wrong. So if you have the deadlies, think of it as, okay, I can use this later if I need it. It's something I have. Same thing with like elemental weapons or any other items like your sleep balls, your freeze balls, smoke bombs, anything that you have. You want to make sure that you know that you have them, but you don't have to use them right away in a situation that otherwise might not kill you. But it comes with learning. It comes with practice with how you're supposed to do that. It's hard for me to explain because every run is different. And then you can get floor glitch, so none of it matters anyway.
No, we're going to try something spectacular here. I am at floor 98. I'm on top of the stairs, and I did not find any fractionals at all except for the deadlies that I can't uncurse because I never found a curse lifter. So that said, we don't have a very optimal setup, but we're going to try our best anyway. We're going to take King Triton in with us.
You didn't get the flame fruit?
I did not get the flame fruit, unfortunately. I didn't find Firebird until way later.
I know you can get them from pugs. That's like the main way I get them.
Oh, pugs. No, I don't even think I saw pugs, actually.
I didn't see any either. They're really easy to kill with Ice Valkyrie, though. Like, you can kill a whole party of them. And Dragon. I think Dragon works, too. Do I mind showing off how to take the red chest in? Oh, as a meme? Yeah. I mean, I can. I think we should be watching Ellie at the moment, though. But I can show y'all after. My volume's off, so I mean, like, if his volume's on, you can listen to it. I didn't. That's why I'm not moving.
I have a Spido Jewel and Fake. I could do the out turn.
Where you get the fourth turn.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
And normally the jelly has 500 agility. As you can see here, my level 37 Artie with no equipment, agility boosting stuff has 147. You're not outspeeding the jelly normally. However, there is an item called the Spido Jewel, which I found. It reduces enemy speed by 40%, and you can use it a couple of times, reducing enemy speed by 40% and then 20% on top of that. And then you can use the Fake spell to increase your party's agility by 20% and then 10% after that. Let's take a minute here to admire the architecture, though. If you haven't already seen this room, this is the one of two, I would say, well-designed rooms. I'd like to hire the architect who built this room. These stairs you can't even step on. It's interesting. It's pretty funny, but fortunately the jelly doesn't have any problems here.
Yeah, it's a pretty messed up room. In the PAL version, however, it is fixed.
Alright, so you've seen how to play this traditionally. We're going to take advantage of the fact that we can hurt ourselves pretty good. The jelly itself is more interested in seeing incredible combat, and he just wants to see death in some way in a battle where he and his first attack will always heal you. His first attack heals all your HP, his second attack heals all your MP. And then after that, it's he just says, "Are you ready?" Or whatever the final command is. So in this case, we're going to show him the death that he so desires by bringing ourselves to a state of total defeat. Normally when you die like this, it boots you out of the cave, and this case would be no different. However, whatever the trigger is that gets you out of the ancient cave when you die occurs after the check that the jelly makes to see if the battle ended without him running away. Because that check passes, we get our total defeat message, the screen fades to black, and then we get complimented for our power and ability. Interestingly, I guess he considers us brilliant for committing suicide in front of him, and we are then given the key to the ancient cave. So that's two ways you can complete the cave. Zack's obviously was the correct and much more properly earned one, but again, we're playing the game casually, and you just want to beat it. You know, you've wasted 5-6 hours first time in here. You don't want to have to restart it. You just want to go back to the rest of the campaign and see what the story is. This definitely counts. It counts as a kill. You can go back into town, deposit your jelly trophy and any of your iris things that you have. And there is a chest counter at the end of the game, which bases itself on how many chests you open throughout the context of the main game itself. Getting the ancient key, it opens up these 3 chests that you can take with your campaign adventure, and therefore those do count towards that final limit of the completionist's run.
Well, there we go.
So I'll deposit my 3 iris treasures, my iris shield, as I tend to do, my iris armor, and then my iris pot, I think was my 3rd one. And then finally, we're going to talk to this nice lady, and she's going to compliment us on defeating the boss of the Ancient Cave, which I always think is funny, because I didn't really defeat the boss. I just impressed him with my sheer brilliant intellect. And that's a run. I'd say everyone give another high five to Zach for doing an awesome job and scoring a jelly kill. He definitely earned it. And in 1 hour 40, we plan these runs in 2-hour increments because they tend to be marathon safe. His PB, I think, is 48 minutes or something. But you can imagine how quickly you have to fly and how lucky you have to get with chest contents and enemy layouts. So you've just done a darn good job, and definitely deserve praise for it.
Yeah, I like to set the timers, like for marathons. I like to get to 2 hours. It seems pretty excessive since we can PB in under an hour, but that extra time allows the run to survive in a marathon by a much larger amount. I think this might be like the 13th or 14th time I've successfully finished the run in a row. So I'm still digging that. It's awesome.
That's pretty great. Well, congratulations, dude, again. And thanks to SpeedGaming for hosting us.
Yeah, thank y'all again as well.
And I guess that's it for us. Next up is Solar Cell with his Illusions of Gaia run. I'm pretty excited for that.
Oh, I haven't watched that in a while. I'm sticking around for that.
Definitely.
Who's running it?
Solar Cell 007.
Alright.
He has done some Ancient Cave runs with us before, so he's a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
Illusions of Gaia.
I'm gonna stick around and watch
Gaia ran. They're pretty awesome, too. And no, I am not running an Iris percent after this. You can always get out of this. Alright, I'm signing off.
Alright, thank y'all very much. And y'all have fun with the rest of the marathon. Stick around.